Hi guys, and welcome back. Well, I have started on QIX PCB number 2, PCB set number 2, and I jumped into this board without turning on the camera, and the further I got into this one, the more I realized just how bad it was. I at first thought I was getting away easy, because this thing actually from Taito has dual wipe sockets. Decent sockets. Now I did have to pull 4 of them because 4 of them were corroded. And then I inspected the rest of them, and I'm going to clean these really good with lacquer thinner. And then inspect them again under the microscope. I'm going to look for microscopic like cracks. So I'll go over them once under the microscope once I clean them with the lacquer thinner. I actually cleaned this board with alcohol, and I scrubbed it. I scrubbed it in the wash tub because it was a mess. This thing had pretty severe battery alkaline damage along this where you see the copper, the bare copper. That was all corroded, top and bottom. And I had to get all of that off. So I'll re-tin this. But yeah, I had to really go to town on this to get this cleaned up. And there's still, like right there, you can see there's some pretty heavy corrosion right there. So yeah, these are probably going to have to come up. I'm going to have to remove this. I'll have to remove both of them, I guess, because that does need to be gone over a little bit. I didn't want to remove these ferrite beads because I don't have any of those. Yeah, but that was a mess doing that. But hey, you got to do what you got to do, right? So yeah, and the last one's worse than that. I think this one right here, I think this one's even worse. No, it's not. This one's not nearly as bad. This one's dirty. I don't think this one's as bad. It's just filthy, dirty. So I think I just cleaned the worst of the 3 boards. This one right here, I believe, was the worst. So I was thinking I was only going to get 2 sets out of this. I can clean that one up, I think. Well, if I can clean this one, first thing I got to do is scrub that and then look at it, because I'll get a better picture of what it's really like after I scrub that dirt off of it. But this one was pretty bad. I ain't lying.
He ain't lying.
I am going to have to remove these. That's got to be done. And that ferrite bead's going to have to come out because I need to clean this area. So yeah, crazy. Yeah, that's for another day though. I'm not doing that tonight. This was enough. This was enough to do this today. But anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm starting on this one. I got some more work to do on this. Like, I gotta finish this. I gotta remove these and then go through. I think I can get around not having to remove that. And just clean up around here. Remove that. Replace both of these. I had to remove this header. It was nasty. Yeah, if I can, I'll find it. Yeah, this was that header right here. Look at this thing. Let's get the light. There. Yeah, so nice and corroded. Corrody doodle. Okay. Yeah, we'll get it though. We'll fix it up. We'll make it pretty. Alright, well, I will see you tomorrow. I'm done for the day. This one's not all corroded out, is it? No, this one's okay. That's okay. Okay. See you tomorrow. Alright, so I lied. I didn't wait till tomorrow. I did some more work. I went ahead and I tinned with solder all the way around. You see. I got to get the desoldering gun back out and just clear out some of the holes because I covered some of the holes up. So that's that. I cleaned all of these sockets and they look good. I think we have lucked out. New sockets that I would put in here, I don't think are very much better than what's in here. So I do have to replace the 4 that I pulled. And these two 40 pin sockets I removed. I still have to do these. This I am doing tomorrow. You know, these headers. But it's looking good. Looking really good. So yeah, now I'm done for the night. Alright, back at it. And I've removed both of these headers. And this one had a lot of crusty corrosion that I have removed with my little sanding disc, my sanding wheel. I'm using that lightly to remove all that crap. So I'm going to go ahead and tin this all really good and then remove the solder. I'm just going to tin it with solder. And then I'm going to go and remove it where it needs to be removed from. And yeah, I think that's the end of the corrosion removal. So I think we're on the path now to actually just putting this board together. Okay, I think we're ready to repopulate. I've got it all kind of re-tinned. And yeah. So, let's repopulate this board, get it all complete. Alright, this board is complete. Well, no it's not. There's two resistors there I forgot. So we'll put the resistors in and then it'll be complete. I got all the RAMs back in the board. There's a handful of 0.1 microfarad caps like this that I need to put in here. I'm actually out. I got all the headers replaced, these caps here, this header here, all of this. This button, or this push button thing, doesn't work. It don't work, so I'm not putting it back in. Yeah. It's all cleaned up. So let me do those 2 resistors and then this is done and we'll see what we get. Okay, we are hooked up with board set. Well, that's ROM number 3. And audio number 3. This board I already know is good because I tested it with the other set. This one I did not test. But this, and I was not recording when I first started this thing up, and one of these stupid tantalums blew up. I just cut it out of the board. But where we are is we're getting a message, an error message, and it's telling us, if we look at those LEDs in binary, that would be 1, 2. So I'll have to go on the manual, because it does have a description of what all of this is, and see what it says those issues are. What is 1, 2? What does that mean? I'm going to let it power down for a second and then fire it back up. And it's the same thing, 1, 2. 1 and 2. So let's see what that means. Well, I looked that code up, and it is a video ROM error. And I took this off, and I just started looking at this. I see this, there's corrosion right here. And there is some corrosion in there. That don't look good. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to replace this connector. Yeah, I knew that was going to be an issue, so I just had to pull that thing right off. Because these are corroded. They're going to be hard to get out, but well, I'll get them. Okay, I got those ground pins removed. I basically had to burn them out and you know, pluck them. And I've got some liquid tin on there now for tinning all of this. Yeah. So I may have to run a jumper for these 3 grounds. I might have to connect them all on the back side and run them to ground, which is fine if I have to do that. I got all the corrosion removed. That's good. So yeah, I'm going to let this thing tin for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to wash that stuff off, and then we'll put a header in here. All right. So we have our header in. I reflowed all of the solder on these headers, all cracked up. There was a touch of corrosion right here I buzzed off. You can see here where I've got the 3 ground pins connected, and that one up top at the very end actually soldered all the way through good, so I have a good solid ground connection on those 3 pins. So we should be good. Now I can hook it back up and we'll see what we get. Okay, we're hooked up. And let's see what it does. Oh, gotta hook, plug it all in. Alright, here we go. We're still getting the same thing. One, two. And when I looked at that, it says that it's a video ROM issue, but it said it's not available with 2716s, whatever that means. I don't know. I'm going to try reseeding all of these ROMs and see if anything good comes of it. Okay, I reseeded these, no change. So now what? I reseeded these, and this socket had been replaced. So I kind of want to check that work, because I did not replace this socket. So I'm just going to do a little beep testing to make sure that there's no shorts or a broken trace. So let me do that really quick, and then after that I think I will get the scope out and start probing around here and see what's being accessed, what's not, just what's going on. Okay, well, yep. Looking at some sockets. This socket is no good. If I go on pin 20 is supposed to look like this. It's an access pin, and it's bust along every chip. And when it gets to this chip, it looks like this. But if I press down on the chip a little bit, well, hold up. Just a little bit. Yeah, darn it. I think I'm going to replace every socket on this board. All of these. As if one's bad like that, I don't trust. And then this one's been replaced. I just don't. I don't dig it. I don't trust it. So I'm going to replace all of them. And then we'll try it again. Okay, I got all the tops off. And if we look at these two sockets, there's no way this would have worked. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and replace all of them. Except for this one. I'll leave this one. But all of these. Pile O pins. A lot of nastiness right here. And here. Yeah. Corrosion. I'm going to probably remove that one too, but I've got to desolder that. And just because there's just a lot of corrosion. So, inspection. Okay. I think we are getting somewhere. I actually had to break out my respirator. This PIA was completely corroded and needed to be removed. So I had to actually cut the legs, and then on the bottom side I tried my best to flow solder just into the pins, and then I had to just basically burn them darn pins out and pick them out one at a time. And yeah, it was pretty nasty. And when I was done here, you couldn't see any of these pads. It was just all black. It was gross. And I've got it cleaned up. I actually had to sand down through here down to copper, and then I've just soldered back over them like this. And now I'm going to desolder now. Well, not tonight, tomorrow. But it was down to just bare copper on the pads, and I soldered back over them to tin them, and now I'll desolder. And I had to do that to a couple of these, like this socket right there, I believe, was really bad. This one and this one were both really corroded. Yeah, but I've got this. I just flowed solder over it heavy just to tin the pads and stuff. So I'll remove that and we'll put a new PIA in it, because that had to be replaced. It was just all corroded. It was nasty. So yeah, but for doing that, burning those pins out with that corrosion and stuff, I got the respirator out. It was just so nasty. But anyway, that's where we're at. It's getting there. Tomorrow we'll be desoldering and repopulating. So yeah, we'll see you then. Done for the night. So I can sit here and desolder and find out who the daddy is.
She said that no, it wasn't. So you told...
Okay, so we are redone. I think I got the lion's share of that corrosion off of this board. These two through holes right here were just black, so I wanted to remove that blackness. I had to do a little through hole repair there and on the back side here. Yeah, I just wanted to get rid of that black corrosion crap. But I think we're good. I think this camera might be on its last legs. I might have to invest in a camera. But I got this thing all cleaned up, resocketed. The one socket I did not replace. This one was originally replaced by somebody. So I left that one in, but I replaced all the rest. Cut this guy out, burned those pins out, if you remember. Because it was just complete black corrosion. It was pretty gross. These two are good. These two there's no corrosion. It's just this one. So I cut it out, got rid of it. And I think we're good. I think I got all of it. The bulk of it anyway. So I think we're ready to repopulate the ROMs and try this thing out. Put a PIA in it and give it a shot. Okay, we are repopulated. We've got the set all laid out. And let's see if all of that work paid off. And we're on. Hey, all the lights are out. That's a good sign. Oh, here comes something. Oh, it's giving us the open the coin door error message. That's good. So let's open the coin door and power cycle. Okay. And I need something for doing some jumping. Yeah, we're at the language, the setup screen. So we just need to tap advance through. 1, 2, 3. All right, well, we definitely got some goofiness. The character part, all of the character stuff is perfect. We don't have sound. We do not have audio. Why no audio? Oh, I don't know. But I tested this and it was okay, so for some reason we don't have audio, and that's got to be because of this board, right? We'll have to look into that. So we have no audio and our screen is all messed up. Now, is that just RAM? I could try swapping a whole new set of RAM in it and see if that makes any difference. I tested all those RAMs and they came back good. Although, one thing that did happen is one time, the very first time that I fired this back up, one of the tantalum caps exploded. So maybe that may have allowed a short from the neg 5 rail or whatever that was filtering, and it could have damaged some RAM. So I could just try popping a whole new set of RAM in. And in fact, I think that's what I'm going to do, is just try a whole new set of RAM and see what happens. Okay, I only replaced half. I replaced the bottom half here and turned it back on, and it's perfect. So yeah, one of these, I could get the Inquisitor back out and try testing these again and find out what is actually bad. But yeah, I left these ones in and I replaced these guys, just this half, and it came in. I still don't have sound. So I got to figure out why I don't have sound, because this board was tested good. So yeah, I'll have to figure that out. But we got that squared away. But what I do want to do is I do want to figure out why. Which one of these RAMs is no good. Because we're good now. Video-wise, we look good. So let's get the Inquisitor out and retest these RAMs. And what I want to do is find out which of these is bad, weed those out, and put the good ones back in the board and just replace what's actually bad. So that's what I want to do. And I got to figure out why this one doesn't have sound, because like I said, I did test this board and it produced sound in my other set. So that's got to be something wrong with this board. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So interestingly enough, they all test good. What I'm doing is some of the legs were bent weirdly and stuff. I'm wondering if one of the legs wasn't in socket, because I did not really inspect it very well. I'm going through and I'm kind of making the legs in a new position, and I'm going to reinsert all of these back into the board. And while I'm at it, I got my desoldering gun out. I'm going to replace those orange tantalums, every one of them. Okay, I've reinstalled those RAMs. I replaced the electrolytic caps. And we're hooked back up. Let's fire it back up and see if the screen looks the way that it should. Alright, the lights are all off. That's good. I didn't put any caps in backwards. No explosions. Getting ready to tap through our setup. So we'll tap 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 taps. And it's still lines. There's no sound. Okay. Anyway, darn lines. I'm just messing around with these. I ain't seeing any difference. I think we just got a bad RAM. That's, gosh, I hate that. I'm going to replace one row at a time. I'm going to replace this back row. See what happens. Okay, I replaced the back row, and we still have goofiness. So now I will replace this row. Okay, I just replaced this whole row. That's these chips right here. And no problem. So the bad chip is in this pile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of these back in the board in this row. Goodness gracious. Okay, those ones that were here are back in the board. And this one actually I did replace because this had an oddball Texas Instrument RAM. And I just wanted a matching set. So, yeah, those are replaced and all good. So now I'm going to replace 4 RAMs up here. I'm going to replace these 4 with those and see what we get. Just trying to whittle down the bad part. I think I'm going to do 2 RAMs. How about right here and here? Okay, I replaced those 2 and still good. So we'll do 2 more. I'm going to do this one and this one with 2 from here. Alright, I had to go through and do a handful of times of just swapping these RAMs around, and I did single out the one bad RAM right there. And our video is now good. So what I need to do now is figure out why we have no sound. Okay, I've noticed some corrosion right here that I missed. So it's pretty close to here. Luckily, I don't see any corrosion on this PIA. But if I look over here, I got to looking at this connector, and this is the audio interface connector. And I do see that pin right there is definitely corroded. This thing's going to have to be replaced. And I'm going to clean all of this corrosion off. Yeah, there's corrosion right here. You can see that light color. That's corrosion. So that needs to be cleaned. So this is going to have to be replaced and then this cleaned off. Okay. Corrosion Exodus. I cleaned from right here all the way down to here. And I cleaned and re-tinned the holes. So all the corrosion is history. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put a new header in here. And we should be looking good as far as our connections go. And new connector. And some of the pads came off over here. It's all good. The through hole was fine. Yeah, so we got all of everything soldered. More corrosion removal and re-tinning. I just re-tinned with solder. Just soldered onto there. we're ready to hook this thing back up. Okay, we're all hooked back up. Let's fire it up. Fire it up and hope we get some sound. And I do need this thing to cycle through. Remember, five taps. And we are at the setup menu. So 5 taps on pin 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Will we have sound? Yes. All right. Complete. All I have to do is play some kicks. Let me set up. I put a couple of credits in it. We're ready to go. Here we go. Damn it! I can't get the buttons right. No bonus. Oh, let's play again. I keep getting the buttons mixed up. No bonus. Ah! Get away from me, Sparks. Oh! Ooh, I am the greatest of all time. I am one of the greatest ever. Oh, I want another credit. Let's play one more game. I love this game. I love it. One more credito. Did it credit? Yes, it credited. Let's play again. Let's turn the volume down slightly. It's awfully loud. Doesn't need to be that loud. Here we go. Ooh, that's not loud enough. There we go. Coming down into here, Mr. QIX. Jerk. Jerk. Mr. QIX! Alright, one more game. Cut it out, QIX. QIX. Here we go. Oops, no credit. It did not credit. I must have pushed the wrong button. Did we credit? Yes, we credit. One more game. Bring it. Come on, Mr. QIX. Stupid Sparks. Come down into my trap, Mr. QIX. Come down into my trap, Mr. QIX. Come into my trap, Mr. QIX. Ah. Uh-oh. Mr. QIX, I set the trap for you. Get back in my trap, Mr. QIX. Mr. QIX. All right. Well, that's gonna do it for this repair. Very fun. I really enjoy this game. It's hard. I was trying to set traps for Mr. QIX, and he just wasn't buying it. Yeah. Now I'll just leave this one running for a good handful of hours. So what did we do to this set to get it working? It's all you need to do to your QIX set to get it to work. Sockets. Sounds like a snake. I want to turn this down so that I can talk. Okay, we replaced these sockets. I had to replace 4 sockets up here. I redid these caps, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to replace the caps on the other board that I repaired as well. I'm going to go ahead and replace all of those caps as well. These electrolytics. There are these tantalums that are up here. Because the first thing, when I first powered this thing up, one of them stupid tantalums exploded. So, yeah, I'm just going to replace them all. It's kind of best practice on whenever you have tantalums that are filtering a power rail, especially like a 12-volt rail or whatever, because they just don't, they blow up. Filtering a 12-volt rail with a 16-volt tantalum, they are very suspect to blow up. Okay, sockets, corrosion. Had to replace these headers. I had to replace this header. I had to replace this transistor, some of these parts, some of these caps, couple parts here, corroded parts. That's about it, I guess, on this board. A lot of corrosion replaceable and retinning on this guy. This board, same thing, a lot of corrosion replacement. I had to replace this header and this header. These 4 EPROMs right here, I can tell I scammed off of this one of these boards. This one right here, customer also sent. I scammed 4 of these off of this board, or maybe just a couple or whatever, and I had to erase and reprogram with the proper QIX ROM set. I wanted it to be a matching set. These are all, in MAME, these are all QIX A is the ROM name. As you can see, I've got them marked QIX A. So they all match. So I didn't actually have to replace any of the EPROMs, but I did take some from the other board and just reprogram and repurpose them onto here. I replaced all of the sockets on this board. I replaced this PIA. I reflowed the solder on everything. And I think that's about it on this board. Lots of corrosion. Corrosion replacement. I actually had to get my respirator out to remove this PIA. What I did was I actually cut the chip off the board, and then I had to get the pins out of the board, and to do that I had to really just burn them out with my soldering iron, and it was creating some smoke, some toxic nasty smoke, and I got my respirator out and was using that when I was doing that. So this board was fine. There was nothing wrong with this board. Didn't have to do a thing except for reflow the solder. So this one was all these 2 boards, and I did have to replace 1 RAM chip that was good but was actually bad. You know, I don't know. So take that for what it's worth. You know, if you have an Inquisitor and it says all your RAM are good, well, the board might say otherwise. So I think that's about it on this one, guys. There was a lot of work, a lot of maintenance work to be done on this set. It was in bad need of cleaning off all this corrosion. Yeah, so there was a ton of corrosion on this guy. QIX. I turned that up, didn't I? Yeah. Yeah. There you go. So there you go. Taito QIX. The second set that I have done. There you go. As always, guys, check me out over on Patreon. Patreon.com/ClassicArcadeRepairs. All one word. Subscribe if you're watching this and you're not subscribed. It doesn't cost anything, and it helps me out. So why not? Channel memberships. If you get something out of this and you want to lend your support to the channel, always appreciated. And I have ordered, I designed a little board to go into here. And I have ordered up some surface mount chips. A snack. I've ordered some chips to put on the circuit board, so I will have NVRAM for Taito and any other game. I'm making them for every game. So yeah, I've made one with a footprint for a 6116 NVRAM. I've made one with a footprint for a simple 6514, where 4 of the bits are pulled high. You're only using 4 of the bits. So I've made that, and I've made Taito. So I've designed 3 separate circuit boards for NVRAM. I've ordered the boards. I'm just waiting for them to come back. And they'll be utilizing that 16 whatever that chip was, FM16W08 FRAM. Yeah, so look for that on the next, because my next one is now a Zookeeper. I'm going to do 2 Zookeeper repairs. But that's it for this one. I'm going to let this one run for a few hours, and that'll do. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you all on the next Classic Arcade repair. Bye for now, Mr. QIX.